Today, we're diving into Alien: Rogue Incursion, the latest Survios horror game that just dropped for PSVR2 and Steam, with a Quest version coming in February 2025. As a massive fan of the Alien franchise, I guess you could say I've been excited to get my hands on this one. Let's start with the basics. You play as Zula Hendricks, an ex-colonial marine, accompanied by a synth companion named Davis. Your mission takes you to Perdan, an uncharted planet where, surprise surprise, things have gone terribly wrong at a research facility. The atmosphere is absolutely spot on. It feels like you're stepping right into the Alien universe. The environments are detailed and authentic, and the way xenomorphs move along the walls and ceiling is genuinely unsettling. The sound design deserves special mention. You can hear these creatures stalking you through vents and corridors, which adds an incredible layer of tension. The weapons feel satisfying and impactful. The pulse rifle, a franchise staple, looks, sounds, and feels great. Although I found myself hip-firing most of the time since the character's chest can get in the way of the buttstock when trying to aim down the sights. But the kind of arcadey feel of the pulse rifle in general made this not too big of a deal for me. The shotgun packs a proper punch too. The inventory system places weapons and tools on you so you don't have to worry about carrying a backpack or anything. Your tools, like the motion tracker, health stims, and sticky grenades, attach to various parts of your arms. Beyond your weapons, you'll be using several pieces of equipment. The hand torch is essential for cutting through sealed doors, while the insulated clamp helps you rewire power boxes to restore access or access new areas. Your PDA is particularly cool. It folds open to reveal the map and your current objectives, really adding to that retro-futuristic feel. You've also got sticky bombs that can be attached to surfaces, which come in handy during some of the more intense encounters. The game uses the gravity glove style system where you can sort of grab things from a close distance and then they'll snap right into your hand once you're within range. While this generally works well, I did run into some issues with the character's body getting in the way when trying to pick up items off the floor or reloading, particularly in the Steam version. It's worth noting that these interaction quirks were much less noticeable in the PSVR2 version. The computers and tablets in the game feel incredibly authentic to the Alien universe, with touchscreens and joysticks that really nail that retro-futuristic feel we know from the movies. I really loved interacting with them. Like in Alien Isolation, you can find some interesting lore messages on computers as well as from audio discs lying around. The motion tracker, another iconic piece of equipment, works brilliantly, but I'd often place it on nearby surfaces or even the floor while working with tools like the hand torch or rewiring fuse boxes. Its beeping would give me a heads up if anything was approaching. That said, I found myself relying on it less and less as I played because the audio design is so well done. The distinct sounds of xenomorphs crawling through the vents or stomping around were usually enough warning to let me know something was coming. Now let's address some technical concerns, particularly with the Steam version. If you're planning on playing on the PC with a Quest headset, you'll want to use Quest Link specifically. Virtual Desktop and Steam Link aren't officially supported, and many others I talked to reported issues when using these methods. I tried playing this direct with my Valve Index, and I had some frustrating issues with the Steam version. The most noticeable was a bizarre wobbling effect where my in-game head movement felt disconnected from my actual head movement. Not exactly lag, but definitely disorienting and really bad for those prone to motion sickness. Speaking of lag, I had to significantly lower my graphics settings in the game, despite having a 3070 GPU, in order to get playable performance, which really impacted the visual quality of the game for me. These issues ultimately led me to switch over to the PSVR2 version, and I'm glad I did. Everything ran smoothly, and the addition of head haptics really enhances the experience, adding satisfying feedback to everything from dodging to shooting to getting a nice face hug. The PSVR2 controllers also feel great with the game. If you have the option, I'd definitely recommend going with the PSVR2 version for the most polished experience. Combat-wise, you'll need to stay alert. Xenomorphs can attack from anywhere, and the game does a fantastic job of making you feel unsafe at all times. Remember that even if you close doors behind you, you won't ever really be able to keep them out. You will definitely come across a lot of xenomorphs akin to Aliens versus Alien, but sometimes they would still give me a good jump scare if I was really focusing on my task at hand. 3 hits from an alien means game over, but I found that after 1 hit, they tend to do an execution move that you can't escape from. The AI is decent, though you'll start noticing repetitive attack patterns after a while. While the story isn't going to win any awards, the game is still fun as an atmospheric xenomorph shooter. The relationship between Zula and Davis adds some personality, but don't expect any major narrative surprises. One minor frustration comes in the later stages where you'll find yourself backtracking through previously explored areas. The story wrapped up on a cliffhanger that took me about 5 hours to beat, which I had no idea the game was actually a part 1. Overall, despite some technical hiccups on the PC, Alien Rogue Incursion delivers a solid action horror experience that captures the essence of the Alien franchise. While the story is fairly basic and there's some tedious backtracking near the later stages, the core gameplay and atmosphere make up for some of these shortcomings. It might not reach the terror levels of Alien Isolation, but it definitely offers more tension than a game like Alien's Fireteam Elite, for example. Is it worth your time? If you're a fan of the franchise and have access to a PSVR 2, absolutely. Steam players may want to wait a couple updates for performance fixes, but don't forget that refund button is also an option just in case. And Quest users will definitely want to stick to Quest Link versus Virtual Desktop or Steam Link, unfortunately. As always, thanks for watching. Keep on creating and never lose that drive to improve. And remember, in space, no one can hear you scream.